What's happening, guys? It's Abhinav from Phone Bunch, and here are my impressions of the OnePlus 3 after 2 days of using it. But first, let's have a look at what we get inside the box. So we have the OnePlus 3 right up top in all its metallic glory. Next up, you have some documentation, and the packaging here is really top notch. You get some stickers, and you have a SIM removal tool right there, a quick start guide to help you through using the smartphone, and there's a user guide as well. Then you get a letter from Kalpe himself, and next we have the dash charger. It's rated at 5 volts at 4 amps. It charges the phone within 1 hour 20 minutes from 0 to 100%. You also get the USB charging cable within the box. Again, pretty neat stuff. So this is everything that you get inside the box with the OnePlus 3. Now, along with the smartphone, OnePlus also sent us a few cases for the smartphone. Now these are all snap-on covers. I'll have a look at them in a separate video. That's a very clean design. The phone feels great to hold in hand. It is quite light. It doesn't feel hefty at all. The phone boots up pretty quickly as well. Now before we talk about anything else, let's have a look at the build of the device. On the left you have the alert slider and you have the volume rocker as well. Both are sturdy and the volume rocker offers very good feedback. The alert slider is slightly softer this time around, so it's easier to use. Moreover, it is textured, so you can easily feel for it without having to look for it separately. Now at the bottom of the device you have the speaker, you have the USB Type-C port, primary microphone and the audio jack right there too. That's a busy place to be. Moving to the right of the device, you have the SIM card slots and you have the power button. The power button again is sturdy and does offer good feedback. Now this is a dual SIM smartphone, uses 2 nano SIM card slots, but storage is not expandable. But you are getting 64 gigs of onboard storage with 6 gigs of RAM. Now if you look at the back, the camera does protrude a little bit, but the sides of the phone are a bit rounded, so at least the phone does feel good to hold in hand. You have a 3000 mAh battery inside, which, as I already told you, charges in 1 hour 20 minutes flat from 0 to 100%. Now talking about thickness, this one is just 7.3 millimeters in thickness, and well, it is quite light too. Now if you move to the top of the device, you have the front-facing camera, proximity and light sensors, and a configurable notification LED, which I really liked. At the bottom of the phone, you have capacitive buttons which do light up. Those are just like 2 dots on either side of the fingerprint sensor, and the fingerprint sensor again works very well. I'll just show that to you too. The display here is an AMOLED panel, 5.5 inches at 1080p. So yes, it's not the sharpest panel out there, but it really looks quite good. Moreover, you can go ahead and customize the color temperature of the display, and there's a night mode built in as well, which I really found useful while reading some novels at night. Now then you also have the ambient display option. If you wave your hand over the phone, it shows you the time and notifications. And talking about that fingerprint sensor now, it's blazing fast. Earlier, I found the Mi 5 had one of the fastest front-facing fingerprint sensors. Now this one is the king. It's fast, it works every single time, and it is very accurate. Now some of the other shortcuts that I've discovered, you can use double tap to open up the camera app. That can be configured in settings, and you can double press the power button to open up the camera app as well. Now talking about that camera, it does capture images very quickly. You have a timer built in as well, you can change the aspect ratio, you have HDR mode built in, and you have a very robust manual mode too, which I did use for a little bit of time. You have shutter speed control, manual focusing, ISO, so quite a lot of control if you want to take advantage of that 16 megapixel rear camera. So you have phase detection autofocus, you have optical image stabilization, and they do come in use, especially if you're trying to lock focus when there's not enough light. Now here are some of the samples that I captured over the usage of last 2 days. So you can see the images actually turn out quite well. They are crisp, they have quite a lot of detail, good bokeh there too. Colors look quite natural, and the dynamic range actually seemed quite alright. Even HDR images turned out quite well. Now when we moved indoors, the camera still did quite a good job. There were no blown highlights, very little noise. In fact, this is shaping out to be one of the better cameras I've seen in this price point. Even when we used the camera for the first time, it did perform quite well indoors. You can see quite a lot of detail in these images. So yes, I do find the camera to be quite impressive on the OnePlus 3. Now the OnePlus 3 is running on Android Marshmallow based Oxygen OS. You have the shelf on the left where you have your shortcuts, you can add a memo, you can add your widgets as well. It really does work quite fine. And then you have several neat wallpapers that come bundled in. You can also go ahead and edit the quick toggles, which is always neat. And the software experience has been very fluid as well. I haven't noticed any lag throughout my usage. Apps opened up quickly. And you can see there's plenty of storage available on the device as well. About 52 odd gigs when you get it. And you can see right there, 4.5 gigs of RAM are free on the device. That's more than what flagship devices have in total nowadays. Now there are some neat software customizations as well, like you can go into a dark mode, and given that this phone is using an AMOLED display, it will save some energy as well, so you'll get better battery life. And talking about battery life, I was able to get through more than 1 day of use easily with the phone for the last 2 days, and well, the battery charged really quickly as well, so I really didn't have any complaints. You can go ahead and switch to software buttons if you don't like the hardware keys at the bottom. And if you don't like the layout of the buttons, or you're coming from a Samsung smartphone, you can go ahead and switch that out too for both the software as well as the hardware keys. So there is quite a bit of customization in that aspect. You can really make the device your own. Now there are some gestures built in as well. You have double tap to wake, and you can draw several characters to open up different apps. V starts the flashlight, O starts up the camera. You can also control music playback. With that, let's talk about performance. So we have loaded phonebench.com on Chrome, and you can see web browsing is very smooth. I haven't noticed any major lag even throughout my entire usage of the last 2 days. The phone performs well. The only thing is that memory management isn't really that good. You can see Chrome reloaded even though we had just 4 or 5 apps open in the background. So even with 6 gigs of RAM, it doesn't seem that OxygenOS is able to manage memory that well. Now memory management can be easily fixed with an OT update, especially on a phone with 6 gigs of RAM. This phone is already running on the latest OxygenOS. We did get an OTA update earlier, but memory management has been pretty much the same even after that. Now talking about the overall experience, this phone feels great to hold in hand. That's the first thing. The display is crisp, it is bright, it is visible outdoors too, and the camera is very impressive. Last time around, OnePlus 2 didn't have that good of a camera. This time they have changed that. Then there's NFC built in as well. We will be bringing out its separate camera and gaming reviews, so do subscribe to our channel to get those first. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day. What's happening guys, it's Abhinav from PhoneBunch, and here are my impressions of the OnePlus 3 after 2 days of using it. But first let's have a look at what we get inside the box. So we have the OnePlus 3 right up top in all its metallic glory. Next up you have some documentation, and the packaging here is really top notch. You get some stickers, and you have a SIM removal tool right there, a quick start guide to help you through using the smartphone, and there's a user guide as well. Then you get a letter from Kalpe himself, and next we have the dash charger. It's rated at 5 volts at 4 amps. It charges the phone within 1 hour 20 minutes from 0 to 100%. You also get the USB charging cable within the box. Again, pretty neat stuff. So this is everything that you get inside the box with the OnePlus 3. Now, along with the smartphone, OnePlus also sent us a few cases for the smartphone. Now these are all snap-on covers. I'll have a look at them in a separate video. That's a very clean design. The phone feels great to hold in hand. It is quite light. It doesn't feel hefty at all. The phone boots up pretty quickly as well. Now before we talk about anything else, let's have a look at the build of the device. On the left you have the alert slider, and you have the volume rocker as well. Both are sturdy, and the volume rocker